Oh, shalom and bonjour, my friends and my enemies. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And I am quelling in a French way. I should be eating a cruller.
Croissant.
Hola, bonjour, what? Hello?
A croissant.
Oh, that's right, a croissant with, let's see, with pomme de terre.
No,
Fried.
no, 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 no.
No,
Pas pomme de terre. You don't want a potato on a croissant.
wait,
You want a little bit of confiture,
confiture. This is
yes,
it. What
a
is
little jam.
wait? What is the difference between coffee and confiture?
Because coffee is coffee
Wait,
and confiture is confiture.
that's
It is spelled different and taste very different.
all right. How does it? What is it? Borscht in
Yeah,
it?
one is coffee and the other one is jam.
Oh, confiture is jam or coffee with
Yes.
jam. I don't even know.
Jam.
Anyway, by the way, we are jamming here with the delightful Raquel Bitton, but we do not see you. Do you know that?
You don't see me?
No.
Oh, let me please get some help. Bonjour. They need to see me.
Put your camera on.
Ah, ben voilà.
Your camera's
Ah,
off.
ben voilà.
Oh, voilà.
Ah, bonjour. Quelle merveille. And the sound.
Merci.
My husband.
Oh, welcome.
Gérard.
Hello, Gerard. Gerard.
Hello.
It's very difficult for Jews to speak French because all the phlegm just comes right out. Well, hello, Gerard. What do you do before you leave the screen? What do you do for a living?
For an evening or a living?
Living.
A living.
Wait,
I'm involved in the conservation of forests.
mon Dieu, in America or where?
Where?
In Africa.
In Africa, Latin America, and in Asia.
Oh, that is wonderful. Are you American? You do not have the.
Yes.
He's a Jewish boy from Boston.
Yes. Yes. Wait. Come here. How did you
A homie. I'm a homie. Yeah.
My mother told me to marry a nice Jewish boy, so I did.
Yes. She did. Let's make sure both of us can see each other now. So, Ken, if you could maybe, or you could angle the camera because I'm seeing your nose. There we go. That's a lovely face. There we go. So, how did you meet Gerard?
San Francisco in Tai Chi class, which my brother was our teacher. And I went there and kicked his butt.
What made you take Tai Chi?
Because I have a family that's a fanatic on health, and my brother is a 10-degree black belt and a martial artist.
Wait.
And he was teaching. And so I went to the class, and there was Gerald.
And how long ago was this? How long have you been there?
Well, we married when we were, 14, Annie? No, we married very young. So we've been at it for 34 years, and we still don't want to kill each other. We love each other.
That is enormous. Believe me, that's a wonderful thing to hear. So, and I assume he is a music fan.
Oh, very much. He's the one that gives me the. I mean, before each show, Carnegie Hall or whatnot, I rehearse with the orchestra, of course, in the afternoon. But right before the show, I go over the show and the pattern, and I practice it on him. So he sits down, and all he has to do is just nod and say yes, it's good, and things like that, and then I go on. But he's like my pillar that way. He's very, very good.
Oh, good.
Very good.
So, what people might not realize when they hear your accent, when they hear your voice, when they hear that you do Piaf, they think, "Oh, yeah, she's French," or you come from.
I am French.
No.
But I am. I was educated in the French system, 100%. Now I was born in a fairy place, in a place called Marrakesh, in Morocco,
Wait.
and from Jewish Sephardic parents, of course.
Oh, I did not know. I didn't realize you were one of the tribe. Oh, yay!
Of course, I am one of the tribes. Yes. In fact, I wrote an amazing, funny, fabulous play which I want to read called Oy Vey Jesus.
Oy vey Jesus. All right. This is
Yes, it's the friendship between my mother and her next door neighbor, who was a devout Catholic holding a Bible all the time. And my mother was this loud, colorful, fabulous figure of a Jewish woman.
loud
Which,
Jews. I've never heard of such a thing, but there you go. And was this long-standing friendship? They got over whatever
oh,
religious differences they had, and yeah.
absolutely, when the husbands passed, they were left alone, they were next door. And so it's these trials and tribulations of the ladies of the third floor.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Is it a full-length play? Is it?
Yes, full length. I had a reading about it. It's very very funny. It's very fantastic. I'll let you read it.
I would love to actually. Here's the deal. What were you working on back in February and March of 2020 that kind of has been on hold for almost a year now? I mean,
Oh,
where were you your career
oh,
11 months ago?
oh, this is something completely different that I've been working in and on, and I'm still big time. Is that uh, our son? His name is Julian. He's a young entrepreneur. Uh, he has, in fact, a company called Ministry of Tomorrow. It's not religious at all.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very activist thinking. Anyways, he is the producer of my next CD. So this will be a very big project, like all of them were before. Um, this one is a world music CD that celebrates where I come from. So I will be,
Marrakesh. Or
yes, I will be singing in the languages I grew up with, and listening to. For example, French, of course, Hebrew, of course, because my parents were always practicing, and Arabic, because I was born in Morocco and I speak Arabic, and it will have Ladino songs, uh, fado, because our parents come from Portugal.
Right. So, but let me ask you, how many years were you in Morocco before moving? Well, your family moved to.
Oh, I was a very young teenager when we moved to America.
All right, but here's a question then. What do you remember about growing up in Marrakesh?
Everything,
Mhm.
the food, the serenity, the beauty, the redness around you, because you are in the desert. And so the town itself is, in French we have a saying, it's féerique. It's like a fairy tale. And yes, I remember all of this. I mean, this was I was educated in the French system. Mind you, the way that it worked, people don't know, is that famous French authors, composers, writers, they went to retire in Morocco. And by doing so, they became teachers there. So we were bestowed upon us some of the greatest educators ever. So we learned from the very best because they retired and bought a Riyadh, and we're so happy. But if I may interject about this love of Edith Piaf,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I never wanted to delve into her life. My father used to say, Raquel, uh, don't fool yourself. You have the kind of voice that lends to this kind of songs. And I said, no, no, no. She's an old woman. She looks so tragic in her photos. I don't want. I want to sing the teeny boppers song. He said, no, Raquel, your voice does not lend to that. So he took, and I hope you don't mind me saying that, my darling husband, he took a broken heart, my first broken heart, my first and lonely. I was very young, 17 years old, and I thought, oh mon Dieu, it went not good, and uh, and I locked myself in my room, and I was very tragic by nature, anyways. So I looked at a record of her in my room that my father had left, and I put it on. And when I put it on, the first song was called C'est l'amour. It's love. It's love that makes you cry. It's love that makes you dream. But it's love that gives you hope. And so I thought to myself, oh my gosh, she's speaking about me. So I listened on more and I became passionate. But thank God, not passionate about the woman only, passionate about the songs, the lyrics of the songs, the texts. And I delved into that and never looked back.
But here's you were a 17-year-old girl. Were you already expecting to have a career as a singer, or did you think, oh no,
Yes,
I'm going
because
to be a teacher or
yes.
something?
No. What happened is that in Morocco, my parents used to take me to contests, singing contests, and I won them. I won one at the Casino of Marrakesh, where the movie Casablanca was filmed,
Right.
and I sang on that same stage where what's his name,
Right.
Andre Bugard says, "Play it again, Sam."
Oui, oui.
I sang right there. But centuries later, after the movie was done, but I sang there. So my I've always sang um, since a little girl. In fact, I had a three a little stool that had three legs, very small, and I would drag it into the room when people came to visit my parents. I climbed on it and I performed.
A cappella, or would your mom like play the piano? Oh, wow.
No, a cappella, of course. I didn't have an accompaniment. I didn't know I needed one. So I just went on. So singing has always been part of my life.
So once you connected with at least the songs that Piaf was singing, what was the next step from just singing in the shower or dragging your stool around?
I went to uh, uh, in San Francisco. I mean, I was like in junior high school. I thought to myself, "Oh, I'm going to go and find a place to sing." So I looked up where, and I found one place called Chez Jacques, and I marched there, and with just me, and I said I want to sing, and once I sang, I was given an engagement that lasted a year and a half or two, and I had the likes of Tony Bennett coming to see me, and that's how I was discovered in San Francisco.
Do you have any? Because one of the things I love to hear is anecdotes about celebrities. Do you have stories of not just people who came to see you or that you've interacted with, but like funny or touching stories of these people that you remember?
Well, Tony Bennett, for example, I did not know, please forgive me. At the time, I did not know who he was. But no,
Wow.
pardon, I'm sorry. He's not my cup of tea because he sang the ballads of the 30s and 40s. Little did I know that I was going to devote my life to that. But he used to come many times, and one day he did something very terrible. I told him so. I said, "Oh no, don't you ever do this again." He came and he befriended my pianist. My show was in two acts. Act one, the early life of Edith Piaf. Act two, the latter life of Edith Piaf. He needed to sing the national anthem at the San Francisco 49ers football game. He stole my pianist.
Oh.
So I didn't have a second act.
Uh-oh. Oh, he just did it that day? I mean, he just grabbed your pianist with no... He
Well, no,
up?
he must have told my pianist, would you do it? And of course, my pianist went crazy.
Yeah.
And he went. What was
But
he thinking? That he was going to return in time for the second part? No. So everybody went so disappointed. What was that? But then
what?
that was a good thing because they came back to find out the story. What happened? You
So,
are.
so you got away with doing just half the show, and then they came back to see the other.
I
This is
know.
2 admissions. I like the way you're thinking there. This is good. No,
And then,
and you
yes,
said that Bennett eventually you told him. So did he apologize? Did he?
he came to my brother's wedding. One of my brother's wedding, he was a guest because they were very good friends. And so I went up to him and I said, "You stole my pianist to sing the national anthem."
And
He didn't know he left. I promise you, I'm so sorry.
that's it.
It was-
But that is such a cool, because otherwise I get Tony on the phone right now. I
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
"Whoa, this girl an apology." This nice.
He lives right around the corner. I see him often.
Oh, really? I've heard that he is starting to struggle with memory stuff. Is
But
he? How is?
yes, but you know what? A voice like that, that transcends all time, that gets to your heart and never lets you go. You forgive them, you help them, you smile at them, and you remind them what marvelous beings they are.
Well, do you have other people, other notables like Tony Bennett, whom you sung with, or that you came to see you, and you have stories about meeting them or things they told you?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know Gerald? Do I? Honey?
Jerry, Jerry, we need you. Get your focus over here. Come on, we're live. Come on.
He said lots of stories, but nothing that we can share.
Oh, come on. No, come on. This is not a G-rated program. I've heard everything. Believe me.
But
Tell
let
me.
me tell you about this film. First of all, you're wonderful. So my career has blossomed forever. Have many, many CDs, but I've been always very smart in doing what's best for me. That is, the songs that I sing have a rhythm to them. My other CDs, Rhythm of the Heart, for example, boleros. So I love to sing in Spanish. Me gusta mucho hablar en español.
Ooh, CC.
See, and always with that theme of rhythm but Piaf. When I delved into Piaf and did, it was my third recording. I didn't want to at the first, but when I did, it was the golden album. It was uh, bought by EMI and Sony, and everybody went crazy over it, and it was a big record. The friendship that I've had through the years are with the musicians. So the musicians, the San Francisco Symphony, are in my records, all of my records, as well as the single soloists that are amazing from the Latin world, because that's what my heart beats that way.
So,
And voila. So about this movie of Edith Piaf, in
yeah.
fact, our friend Gérard here, my husband Gérard, is the one that organized and found the producers. And it was done, and to make a long story short, it was bought by Lionsgate Films and has now a life on PBS and public television station forever.
We want to tell people, by the way, if you want to see this document, yeah, I guess you could say it's sort of a documentary. It's a concertmentary.
It's a documentary concert film. It has both.
Wait. It's called Payoff Her Story, Her Songs. And from February 15th, Monday, through the 18th, through Thursday, you can see this on the YouTube channels of the Actors Fund and also Broadway's Best Shows. So you're going to want to look for RAQUEL BITTON, BITTON. There's more information also on your website, raquelbitton.com.
Absolutely.
Oh, so you can also find out about where to watch.
And Instagram and Facebook and all those goodies. Yes.
So everybody, you're going to want to see this concert musical documentary of people who knew Edith Piaf talking about her.
Yes, about her, like what's extraordinary about this film are the people in the film. For example, the people that her lovers, her friends, her composers, they were all there. We fed them and we gave them lots of good wine and vinum verita. They drank and told stories. And those guys, those people never met before together. So this film is the first, and it's also the last because most of them passed away because they were
So
old.
when was the film originally made? Was it like
In
2013?
2003.
Oh, three. Oh, wow. Okay.
But for example, Piaf, greatest love of her life, was a Moroccan boxer by the name of Marcel Cerdan. So his son is in the film. It's fabulous how he tells stories about his father and Edith. And there's the man who wrote A Man and a Woman. Remember that song? Yes,
of course I know this. Yes. All right, I Jewify it a little bit, but yes. Die, 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 yeah, boy, die, boy, boy, yeah, I can do this. I should sell out Carnegie Hall too. But so, and so you're giving all these reasons why people should watch this documentary. But also, I want to ask you: in this day, it's 2021. Everybody's got iTunes and Spotify and listening to music in there. What is the impetus, the desire to still make an old-fashioned CD? Because you've got a CD coming out when? When is it coming out?
well, hopefully, as soon as I can go back to Cuba, because
Cuba.
yeah, I've been to Cuba for my last CD, and I've put everything together. So between Cuba and Marrakesh is when I'm going to be recording my new CD, which has the Moroccan
Right.
Arabic symphony with the instrumentations in Cuba, because I've already done a Cuban record. It's
Right.
called Rhythm of the Heart.
Okay. So,
It's
but
right now.
I'm also asking about this idea. I guess you're of a certain age. I'm of a certain age. Where okay, yes, the record album, the CD, a number of songs, an hour, maybe an hour, 5 minutes, and the whole other generation is not even going to be necessarily cued into the idea of this object.
Oh, I see what you
This
mean.
forget.
But it's the same thing that people today coming back or last year with a bigger record, the 33.
Wait.
You know, it's like a vintage. It's vintage. But when I say CD, it's because what am I? I just released a wonderful a song through the pandemic. I went to a studio with a wonderful New York pianist. He's the pianist for Sutton Foster. His name is Michael Rafter.
Oh.
And together we lay down this track, piano and voice only. How marvelous! And it's called Jardin d'hiver, and it's my new single.
Oh, Jardin. What is Jardin again?
Jardin d'hiver,
Garden of.
winter garden.
Oh my goodness.
Jardin d'hiver. It's a very, very beautiful song. In fact, a Caribbean singer by the name of Henri Salvador had introduced the song years ago. And through this pandemic, oh mon Dieu, I think it's a kiss from me to the people.
And can people hear that on RAQUELBITTON.com? Can they get it on? Where is it?
Spotify, and yes, all my records are on Spotify.
Oh.
And you prefer the social media, you just dial the name, and there I am.
So let me ask you a little bit more, though, about this idea of not just getting all the friends and lovers and folks who knew Edith Piaf in a room if they were still alive and having dinner and wine together, but creating a movie I
Yeah.
mean, how long did it take you to plan that and then to cut it and to turn
Well,
it into a feature film?
well, here's the thing. It's a lifetime of having prepared to that moment in time. And I'm so happy that you are asking. I'm not saying this to get applause from you, but, but the truth of the matter is that I knew the urgency of being uh, perfect as much as I could with the interpretations and also with the pattern in between each song. So when time came to execute, and it was at the Elgin Theatre in Toronto, where the life of Judy Garland was filmed 1 year before I came in with Dame Judy Davis. So it was like, and Judy Garland and Edith Piaf had a marvelous friendship. Because Piaf used to, she used to entertain in New York a lot at a place called the Waldorf Astoria, the Empire Room. She was there. She was a fixture for years. So when time came to execute, I went for it. There was no time to redo something. So whatever you're going to see is the symphony was perfect. The musicians were extraordinary. Everything just like God was saying, you girl, you're going to do the right thing right now. And that's it. And that's what happened. And it's a lifetime of preparation and
It
then
makes,
2 hours of execution.
it makes me wonder also, since besides the Tony Bennett incident,
Yeah.
did you ever have any nights when everything, something terrible happened in the audience or something went terribly wrong and your voice went out? In your years of concertizing, did you ever have any nights where it's like, oy vey, as it were?
Oive. No, I have, pardon? Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, thank you for, oh, my husband is reminding me of this fabulous incident in Chicago, but it shows you that I have chutzpah. You know
I
what
know that
chutzpah?
word.
You know
Yes.
that word, okay. So I was doing all the symphonies around the US. I was singing at Chicago Symphony Hall. The night before Ella Fitzgerald, because we had the same agent and we shared the same agent. Oh, pardon. Oh, 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 Ella Fitzgerald was Boston.
Gerard, you want to come on and tell the story yourself?
No. He reminded me that I have another story with Ella, but it was Aretha Franklin.
Wait. So
Aretha
Aretha
Franklin.
Franklin.
Aretha Franklin and I were we had the same agent, and we were in Boston. She was opening the night after me, so I opened up, and both of us sold out houses. That one thing, the greatest blessing is that when you say Piaf, people just come. And so it was a sold out event. And anyways, on my night, I come on stage. Now, mind you, I've done other symphony halls behind me, so I have the practice, and I go there with a lot of aplomb. I march with my little black dress to the middle of the stage, stand by the microphone, and start singing, and nothing comes out. No sound. The sound was not hooked. Something happened. So my stage manager, who travels with me all over the world, very tall man, comes rushing in the stage to escort me out while they fix what's going on.
Yeah.
And the symphony is behind me waiting. I put my hands to my waist. I look at the audience. I look at the symphony players. And I look up to this tall man and said, do you know how long it took me to get here? Try 20 years. I'm not leaving.
Wow.
So the entire audience burst with laughter and joy. I went up and spoke to individually to all the musicians while they repaired
Right. Yeah.
whatever they repaired, and then I walked, but I never left the stage.
That. You're
Yeah,
right. That's chutzpah.
it's,
That's taking the situation. Would you, if they couldn't have fixed it, would you have tried to sing a cappella with just
no,
a couple?
I would have laid down and died.
Oh, you are Jewish. So, what's the Ella Fitzgerald story?
Well, she had a show in San Francisco at the Venetian Room, where I also was performing. So that's the
Oh,
similar story.
that's not really.
We shared stage. I shared a stage with her.
All right, well, okay, that wasn't quite as good as the other one, I have to say. Should have stuck with the previous one. Here's one thing I do want to ask you about. One of the things that if we listen to you sing and when you do it, you have amazing diction. You really because you care so much about the lyrics and the words and the song, you just every word is very clear. But how can you teach me? I have never been able to roll my R's. I can go, ugh, I can do all day long, ugh, but I can't do it. How do you do that?
Well, just imagine a soft, sweet, light gargle, like.
No,
Stop.
that did not sound good. Hold it. Let me try with my my borscht.
Very, very soft.
Oh, wait. Let me see if I can do it while I'm singing. Oh,
My
oh
husband.
no, regret. Oh, not working. Not.
You are a funny guy. Is there an audience right now?
No, well, I don't know if anybody's watching this right now. Yeah, no, there's people all over the world, all over America, and hopefully Israel, who are actually watching this right this second. Is a terrifying thought.
Live?
Yes, we warned you. This is live.
Bonjour, Toda Rabba. Tov Beseder Mapitam.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. And maybe there's people in Morocco watching it. Hey, that also, that not to get negative on you, but since you were Jews in Marrakesh, which is an Arab country, you spoke Arabic, was there ever any anti-Semitism? Did you ever have to deal with any?
No, you know the history. I hope you do know the history of the Jews of Morocco. And in fact, there's a documentary one day I am going to make called The Lost Jews of Morocco, because there were hundreds of thousands at one point, and now there must be 2,700 left.
Why? Where did they go? What happened?
The exode of leaving for France, Canada, and all of that, but no faults of anything else, but they're coming back a lot. They're coming back a lot. They have houses, they vacation. But let me, if I may say this, the relationship.
Also, just we're back to your nose again. If you could maybe flip the phone with the way. There you go. Okay, thank you. Yeah, a little better.
Yes. Let's not forget the history of the Jews of Morocco and the Arabs of Morocco is a story that is so beautiful. The people, the Arabs of Morocco, are such kind, loving, respectful, great people. But let me tell you about this story which tells it all. The King Mohammed V.
I knew him. Yeah.
He had, God bless him, he had received in Morocco the visit of Hitler. Hitler said, I give you tanks, I give you armaments, I give you everything, give me your Jews. And he looked at him and he said, you get out of here. There are no Jews here. They are Moroccans. So to this day, the Jewish community, like in New York, it's incredible how every year it seems there's this remembrance with all the ladies in kaftans and glorious Moroccan wear celebrating King Mohammed V.
Muhammad, this is a story that should be told.
Oh, it's right there on the internet. You have even videos on it. It's the truth. Arab Moroccan are the inspiration to decency, to kindness, to love. You should see what they're doing in Morocco now.
I would love to see what they're doing in Morocco.
You know, there's a neighborhood. We didn't live in that neighborhood. My father was and mother were working for the American Air Force Base. So they were young and hip and they wanted to be part of the people. But there was a neighborhood for the Jews if they wanted to. It's not obligation, but it was a Jewish neighborhood called the Mela. My parents lived in the Geliz, but in the beginning, it was in the Kasbah. They wanted to be amongst the people.
Oui.
Today, King Mohammed VI,
His son, or was there a skip in the lead?
grandson, King Hassan II, very good man. King Mohammed VI, very good man. He has restored that Jewish neighborhood. He completely restored the cemetery. I mean, he's kept it, and he has named every street in that neighborhood and around. Wherever Jews lived, you had the streets, like Corcos, Monsieur Corcos, there's the street. Bitton, there's a street.
Wait. Is there a Bitton street there?
No, I don't know about that. But
you weren't clear on one thing. If things were so good for the Jews for so many years, all the way through, why you said they all went to France? They all chose to leave. Why did they leave? It's ideal.
I don't want to be political,
Oh.
but I think it has a lot to do with what was happening at the time with other Arab countries, where the war, the 6-day war, that whole thing, and everybody freaked out, and people started leaving. But believe me, the Jews of Morocco are so loving and respectful of their birthplace. And the history of it is fascinating. You see, we came from Portugal, from Spain.
Wait.
That's the explanation of the Jews.
Let me ask you, because we have just a couple of more minutes here with RAQUEL Bitton, who, by the way, don't forget you can go to her website, RAQUELBitton.com, to get all her music, to her albums, including her new single. What? Wait.
On Spotify, all my music.
Well, okay, so you've got the website, and look for RAQUEL Bitton on Spotify, including the new single, Jardin, what is it?
Jardin d'hiver.
Jardin d'hiver. Yeah, you'll find that there. And most importantly, your documentary is serving as the vehicle for a benefit for Broadway's Best Shows and the Actors Fund. Is that where the money is going for?
Yes, what an honor.
Yeah.
Yes. The gentleman, Jeffrey Richards.
Oh, wait.
Who is a magnificent producer on Broadway. He's put this together. And yes, this is to benefit Actors Fund. And it's a very, very important thing to do, because what would we do without actors?
Well, we've been learning for 11 months, but yeah.
Yes.
True. Yeah. Did you try your hand at acting ever? Because you're a very strong presence, and you've done.
Oh, yes, I am an actress. Every day, when I sing a song, I don't sing a song. I live the song. I portray the character. So yes, I act in all the time. Have I made roles and things like that? No, but I am very much open.
Let me ask you also, I'm guessing it was that first one when you were an upset 17-year-old teenager and you locked yourself in your room, started listening. But which is your very favorite Piaf song?
Very good question.
Thank you.
There is, I had told you that I love the texts in her songs, because she worked with some of the greatest composers of all times, wrote for her. They became known because of her. Jacques Prévert, the French poet, had written a text that was so extraordinary and so befitting of her. It's called Le Cri du Cœur, the cry of the heart.
Oui.
She says, it's not in my voice. You don't only hear a voice that sings. In my voice, you hear the voice of a child that has been slapped hard, the voice of a man drowning, and you can hear that chilling sound as he goes to his fate. In my voice, you also hear the voice of hope and of love. So my favorite Piaf song is Le Cri du Cœur. And it's only done with guitar and voice. She sings with guitar and voice, which is incredible. And Django Reinhardt, you've heard of Django?
Wait.
He played for her that song. So please go ahead and listen to that song. It's incredible.
And you do that song as well? So
Yes, I have it in my album. RAQUEL BITTON sings Edith Piaf.
Oui.
And it's right there for you.
It's not cri de cœur. It's cri de what?
Du cœur.
Oh, it's cri de cœur. Yeah.
Yes.
The songwriter was Jack Perbert.
No, Jacques Prévert.
I know. I know. I had to do that there for a little bit of comedy. Let me thank so much our guest in the neighborhood, Raquel, and it's RAQUEL. There's no C in there or anything. Raquel Bitton, BITTON. So find her songs on Spotify and also find her website, RAQUELBITTON.com. And most importantly, go find Payoff Her Story, her songs, and watch. You have about 3-4 days to watch it, starting on Monday, available on Broadway's Best Shows and the Actors Fund YouTube channel. It's the documentary that she put together, that she directed and performs in, going back to 2003. All of these people who knew Edith Piaf, and her, of course, doing some Edith Piaf. So first of all, I want to wish you much continued success and best of luck on your upcoming, when you finally get to Cuba to do the rest, to do the new album.
Yes. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to meet such a wonderful and colorful and fabulous Rabbi. Shalom.
Well, shalom to you. And have a great one. Thank you for being with us.
Au revoir.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Oh, Raquel Bitton in the neighborhood on this Shabbos morning. It is Saturday, February 13th, 2021. I am Rabbi Sol Solomon. Je suis Rabbit, I don't know. Sol Solomon. Et vous is viewing the Dave Lefkowitz with the Dave Lefkowitz, who will return to do the quiz that is, Hayom Mañana. I did today, yesterday. I don't know what the hell it is. Let's hear some more Raquel Bitton on Dave's Gone By. You know this one.